JaCoby Stevens, safety, defensive back, linebacker, does a little bit of everything. JaCoby, drop in the chat if you have a question, and introduce yourselves, please.
Hey JaCoby, Samuel Rodriguez from New Stitch Media here. I want to know, what teams have you been in contact with during this draft, and how was the pro day? How did it go?
I've been in contact with a couple of teams. My agent's been in contact with like the Cardinals, the Bills. I've had some Zooms with the Vikings. I had a couple of Zooms with the Patriots. So I mean, there's a lot of teams that I've either they've been in contact with me or they've been in heavy contact with my agent.
JaCoby Stevens, Alex Fleming, Florida Sun. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Pretty good. Very talented LSU squad. You guys made history last year. Two questions. One, what position do you prefer to play, considering that you can play almost everything in the defense? And two, what memory are you going to hold on to for the rest of your life that's going to bear with you on the next level?
Well, one of the things with the position question is, I'm comfortable playing any position. I think the game is kind of going towards a positionless game, where it's kind of coming like basketball in terms. Coach O said it best, basketball on turf. So it's getting to the point to where you're going to have to just basically be ready for matchups. Any specific position, I don't have like just one that I prefer over the other. I'm willing to play anything, especially anything that help the team win. And one of the moments that I'm gonna take with me forever, and I hit on this question. Somebody asked me this question yesterday. Of course, I remember the national championship. I mean, that's hands down. But like that's kind of gonna hit more, 10, 15 years, from now. When you look back, like, man, I really won a national championship. But the things that that I take with me now, and I remember most now, is this offseason with Coach Moffitt. Those times with Coach Moffitt, you that's how you just formulate a team. That's how you create a band of brothers, and being in the offseason with Coach Moffitt, he pushed you through some fire, and just to see everybody stay together and get out of there and go dominate for the season, just thinking about that as an entire whole, it's amazing.
Jacob, here's Matheus Ornelas from Time Out Podcast here in Brazil. Congratulations for going for the NFL draft. You have the chance of going for the Senior Bowl and have a full week with NFL coaching staff, trainers, scouts. What you can talk about that week? What do you think was the biggest learning that you have on that week?
Well, I think that was just a week of just playing in the NFL. You learn so much from that week because, like I said, I come from LSU, and it's the closest thing to the NFL, but it's not the NFL. And being able to, be coached by NFL coaches and, play under NFL rules, you learn so much and you retain so much information. I mean, even to, the weigh-ins and the measurements and all that stuff like that. Me and Jabril, we were ready for it, but just because of the Senior Bowl, I didn't really have anything that, that surprised me, because during that Senior Bowl, we did it already. We kind of played it in the NFL for a week, so it definitely benefited me for today.
Hey, JaCoby, this is Glenn West with LSU. Good to see you again, man. Obviously, coming in, you're kind of seen as kind of a hybrid player, a linebacker, a safety, just kind of a guy that can go all over the field. But I think a lot of people were probably a little surprised by the 41-inch vertical and, some of the physical stats you put out there today. I mean, just kind of talk about how important it was for you to prove to NFL teams that you have that athletic ability to kind of play all over the field.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's very important. I mean, like today was really big for me. They, like you said, they wanted to see how athletic I was. Can I play? Am I athletic enough to play on an NFL level? And coming out here, I feel like I answered those questions with the vertical and the broad and the 40, and also doing the drills. One of the things, one of my agents got back from scouts were that they know that I'm a really good football player. They just want to know how good of an athlete that I am. And like I said, March 31st March 31st was a big day for me, and I think I answered a lot of those questions.
JaCoby Stevens, Mookie Hawkins, Buffalo Sports, Cincinnati, Buffalo. How's it going, big guy?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to hear that you spoke with some of the reps out of Buffalo. So who was the rep that you actually spoke to, and what was that conversation like? And how would you love to have the opportunity to play with Tre'Davious White?
I talked with a couple of personnel guys. I mean, I don't want to, name drop and stuff like that. I know how they feel about that, but playing with somebody like Trey White and is playing somebody like a LSU great here, that when he was great, when he was here, would be amazing. One of the questions was asked, like, what would you do your first day coming to Buffalo? And I said that I would go find Trey White wherever he's at, and I would glue myself to him and make him become my mentor. Like, even if he wanted to or not, he's going to become my mentor if I was at Buffalo. Were to go to Buffalo, and probably annoying him a little bit, but that's somebody that that's somebody that you just tag yourself with, and you learn from. You soak up as much information as possible. I mean, even when he comes back to Baton Rouge, I don't talk as much when he's around. I just sit next to him and I listen. And I just listen to what he has to say, what's going on, in the NFL, his learning experience. And he may not know that, but I'm soaking up everything that he says because he's one of those type of guys.
Hey, JaCoby, Nick Faribaugh, Pittsburgh Sports Now here. One of the things that a lot of these LSU guys that they've talked over the weeks, they've said that you are a massive leader on that defensive squad. I mean, first of all, how does that feel to be viewed like that? And second, what makes you a great leader? And also, have you spoken at all with the Steelers?
Yes, sir. I spoke with the linebackers coach a couple of times, and my agents been talking to them. But to be a leader, and to be known as a leader, and my guys are saying this, it means a lot. They all know that I take my jacket off of my back right now for them. Those are my guys. Those are my brothers. And what makes me a great leader is them. They're the ones, like I said, they're the ones that push me. They're the ones that helped me and molded me to the player and to the guy I am today. I wouldn't be here without them. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, I have all these traits or I learned all these things, from reading a book or, I was born with this. But the reason why, I am and the reason why I can say that I am a leader is because of things that I learned and I retain from them.
We're going to finish here with Michael Cobble.
Hey, JaCoby, it's Michael Cobble here in Baton Rouge. Good to see you again. I think it's interesting that your scouts report said, they're looking for your athleticism. Because when I think of you, I think of the versatility that you show. Take me through your preparation for today. Because you're kind of all over the map and slotted to be looked at different positions, have you had to train differently? And do you feel like that's an advantage or a disadvantage, kind of having, three different skill sets or positions that you're being looked at?
I mean, training, we just looked at, like I said, we looked at the 40, the vertical, and the broad. We wanted to hit those big three. Those texture explosiveness and those test, your speed. In terms of, the reasons why the linebacker questions were asked or the outside linebacker questions were asked because they didn't understand how athletic, I was, or can I do the DB drills? Can I flip my hips? And that's why I decided to do that. Now, if I'm drafted to a team and they ask me to play linebacker at a hybrid position, they know that I can do that because playing DB is one of the hardest positions to play on the football field. So if I can turn my hips, flip my hips, come out my break just as good as as any other DB on the field, I definitely can play any of those other positions.
Thank you, JaCoby.
Yes, sir. Thank you.